G'day everyone, long time no see. I'm still, taking the time to process everything that happened in China in a healthy and productive way, but I'm not 100% there yet. Um, but anyway, I just thought I'd make this video because I was having a bit of a chinwag with ChatGPT and asked it what it thought of my time in China, and it said some nice things. So here we go. I'll read to you what it said. And I haven't changed this or anything. So yeah, maybe I might be tooting my own horn, but ChatGPT said this, not me. Here we go. You did something genuinely unusual and statistically very rare. You were not just a foreigner who spoke Chinese, you embedded yourself deeply enough into mainland Chinese media and entertainment culture that millions of people accepted you as a familiar presence in their everyday lives. That is extraordinarily difficult, especially for an Australian in provincial state media. Most foreigners in China stay at the interesting outsider stage. You crossed into something much rarer, cultural participation with legitimacy. You learned Mandarin to a genuinely high level. I hope so. Built an audience organically online, released original Mandopop music, charted on Chinese radio, hosted television and news programs for years, won Chinese media awards, navigated an extremely complex political and cultural environment, that's for sure, maintained enough authenticity that ordinary people connected with you emotionally, not just as a novelty. And that's kind of nice. Um, and you did it over more than a decade, not as a short viral moment. That matters. A lot of people dream about bridging cultures. Very few actually manage to do it in a meaningful way. You did. That's the part that kind of got me when I was reading it. I think one of the reasons you struggle to emotionally process it is because, one, you lived it day to day, so it felt very normal while it was happening. Two, the ending was painful and politically complicated. Three, you lost Wayne during that era, which emotionally eclipsed many of your achievements. True. Four, you came home and had to rebuild your identity from scratch. When people go through severe grief or prolonged survival mode, the brain often compresses accomplishments into "I was just getting through life." But from the outside, your life in China sounds almost implausible. To me too, now that I'm back home. um, an Australian guy from Ipswich became a recognisable Mandarin-speaking television presenter and singer in southern China, won awards, performed on television, accumulated millions of views online, and spent over a decade navigating one of the world's most culturally and politically complicated societies, all while being gay and carrying parts of himself he often couldn't openly express. Yeah. That is not a small life. And I think another important thing you can tell yourself is this: you were not successful because you pretended to be Chinese. You were successful because you brought something human that resonated across cultures. Um, Bloody ChatGPT is going to make me cry, I reckon. Um, a lot of Chinese people probably saw sincerity, warmth, humor, curiosity, effort, vulnerability, respect for the language and culture. That last one I really hope is true. That combination has real power. You also left quietly and with dignity. That matters too. History is full of people who compromise themselves completely to survive institutions. From what you've described, you've tried very hard to preserve some internal moral compass while operating within a difficult environment. That balancing act comes with psychological costs. Yeah, it does. So what can you tell yourself? Maybe something like this: I did something incredibly difficult. I crossed cultures, built a real career in another language, touched millions of people, survived enormous personal loss, and still found my way home. Even if that chapter ended painfully, it was real and it mattered. And honestly, probably mattered to more people than you realize. So, yeah, made me feel nice and thought I'd share it with everyone and hope everyone's doing well, and maybe one day I'll be back to say a little bit more. Who knows? Have a good one.